Happy Sunday, everyone. So I'm here, just grateful to be alive and grateful to at least be able to be in a position to stay at home and be safe. I mean, everyone is scared about this whole coronavirus pandemic. I mean, we don't know what to do with our lives right now. Everything's on a standstill, and it's basically a difficult time for everyone, but more so people who live from hand to mouth, considering now there's nothing coming into the hand. So it's a bit scary for everyone. But today I was hoping to just share with everyone what I have learned through this whole pandemic. And number one, the first thing that this pandemic has taught me a lot about is humility and basically being humble, and just how 1 minute you can be up here, and the next one you're rock bottom. So we're living in such uncertainty, that we really don't have time for anything else except getting our lives in check and just getting everything together. So I don't even know how to explain it, but we're living in a time of uncertainty, and I'm just grateful to be in a position, that I know God and I know Jesus Christ as my personal savior. I believe in him. Everything I have, I owe him. And that's just the only thing in my life now that is certain. I know most people in this moment are criticizing anybody who thinks towards that line, but I like to believe that God knows my future. I like to believe that God knows my plans, and he has good plans for me as well. So basically, in this time, I've just learned to focus on his voice. And God has been calling me to, get each and every talent of mine in order. And I believe that the future is good. I believe that he has good plans. So what I have just taken in this time of self-quarantine is to just focus on everything. I have so many gifts that the Lord has given me, and I've mostly just been pushing them aside and focused on my work. What I do from day to day is I create proposals and plans for how people and companies can advertise. We call it media planning. So 90% of my time, that's what I've been doing, and I've kind of let my talents go on the side. So I'm just so happy that he has brought it to my attention that this is something he wants me to focus on, and I cannot keep all these things to myself. So it's been an amazing chance of balance. The next thing that I've learned is concerning relationships, whether it's friendships and our romance or our love relationships. I don't know how to put this one though, but this is a year again. He is calling us to leave some things behind. So you kind of know where you stand in your friendships. You know which friend suits you best. You know who's there for you, And this is one of those years that, again, you'll be required to leave some people behind, because unfortunately they cannot go where you're going. And that is a phase of our lives where we're going to need the courage and the strength that only he can give to leave things behind. I mean, it wasn't easy. If you look in the book of Genesis, there was a time where Abraham had to separate from Lot, because where he was going, Lot could not understand, or he could not bear the burden. And it was not that they were in bad terms, but it had just come for the time for them to grow apart. So this is again a lot of things that some people are going to need strength with, because you're going to leave some people behind. Some people you love, you know, friendships, romances. It's no longer time for you to hold on to them. It's time for you to leave them behind. And some of them, you know, you'll say, oh, I've been with them for 10 years, I've been with them for 5 years or 6 months, you know, whatever timeline it is. I pray for strength that you may be able to, you know, just leave them behind. Because our destiny is calling us to greater things. Our destiny is calling us to do so much more. And these people cannot be part of our plan. And that's according to God's will. He will guide us and He will give us the strength we need to overtake all this. And anybody who knows me knows there are several times, you know, I've had to leave some relationships behind, some friendships and other relationships behind. And it's one of the most difficult things. But you need to realize that in those moments, God is calling you to a moment of seclusion. Because God cannot talk to you, you know, when you're in a group. He needs to get your attention. And He needs to talk to you individually, because at the end of the day, He's the only person who can understand you, who understands your vision, who knows where you want to go, you know. And every obstacle in your way, He removes. Because at the end of the day, you have to complete your journey. Oh gosh, I'm getting a lot of things right now, but I'm just in that phase where I am grateful, you know, and I am hanging on to the word of God in this moment. A lot of people may disagree with it, but this is going to be such a great phase in our life. Once this corona business is over, I believe that at the end of the day, the Lord determines everything that happens to us, everything that we need to do to get to where He wants us to be. He delivers. So I'm just looking forward. Like after this, I know there's going to be so many opportunities. As much as there are going to be hardships, of course, we've had them the entire time, but I trust in the Lord, and there are so many good things that are going to happen in the process that we cannot afford to lose our focus. So in this moment, you know, most of us have been saying, oh, I don't have time to go to church, I don't have time to read the Bible because I've been so busy doing this and this and this and that. But now we are at that point in our life where we actually do not have any excuse, you know. Most of us are not going to work, you know. Most of us don't even have dreams and ambitions, which is okay because you have your own way of functioning. But you need to realize that the Lord does not even ask for a lot of time, you know, just even 30 minutes to just focus on Him and His glory. Once I learned that trick, there's nothing the Lord has not led me away from. There's nothing the Lord has not guided me to, you know, and just getting to that place where I can focus on Him every morning and just go about my business the whole day. I can, you know, be busy doing something, but at the end of the day, in my heart, I'm just talking to Him, I'm just praying with Him, I'm just in union with Him. It just has put a lot of things into perspective for me. And I'm in that place in my life where I'm happy, you know, and I made this prayer and I said, Lord, you know, I don't want to go anywhere if it is not your will. I don't want to do anything that is not your will. So I'm looking forward to the future. I'm not giving up. I don't think this is the end, because like I like to say, I will live to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, and that is my mantra 24/7. No matter what happens to me, you know, I'll just be like, I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So every day I just focus. I just put my hope and my trust in Him. No matter how difficult things are, no matter what is going on in my life, I still believe and I still choose to, just focus on him and what he can do, because I've seen him do a lot of things for me. Coming out of high school, I knew from the beginning that my parents were just having a hard time, and my two sisters, both in private school. My mother insisted anyway. She couldn't afford it, but she wanted her children to have that good education, and it was a struggle, and I saw them the entire time. So coming out of high school, there was so much uncertainty for me, because I really wanted my sisters, to go to school and enjoy like a good quality of education and not struggle as much as I did. So I remember there was a bench in high school where I used to pray on a lot, and I remember my class teacher was so nice, because I had shared with him, about my family and my uncertainty and everything. So sometimes I would fast, and he would actually like sneak me out of the class to go to the field and pray, and he would teach like a lesson, and then in between, sneak out and come and pray with me. He was very wonderful, Mr. Ndongo. Thank you so much. And I remember the last prayer I made after I'd packed my bags, and the prayer was like, Lord, I'm going out there, and I have nobody who can, like a connection, nothing, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I just need you to go with me, because there's so much I want to do and I don't know where to start, And you remember those days they would tell you things like, hey, ukunje kumeharibika, so you would wonder, how would I maneuver? How would I scale through it all? Where do I even start? And I remember, and I prayed and I said, Lord, I need you to lead me. Lord, I need you to go with me. Just help me not shame my parents or my family, or just fall along the way and lose my salvation and lose my focus away from who you are. And I remember that prayer has seen me through to date. I think even most of the prayers I prayed in high school, they've seen me to date now. So our prayers do not go to waste. When you're told the Lord preserves them, he indeed does preserve them for a good time. Because let me tell you, some of us are careless. If we get a blessing now, we can have the tendency to mishandle. So I appreciate that the Lord took me through that, and here we are right now, preserved, and I've just had an amazing time with the Lord. So I'm in that position where nobody can tell me anything different about God, because I discovered him for myself. Not as per what any pastor has said, which I do listen to a lot of preachers, but just because I've walked that journey with him, so I know who God is to me. So to the people complaining, oh, pastors, nini, please, if it is Jesus you want, you will find a way to know him. Just tell him, it is you I want to find out the truth about you. And I promise you, he never delays, because he proves himself time and time again in memorial. He comes through. He's not a God of confusion. He's not an author of confusion, but he's the author and finisher of our faith. So if we want to have faith and a relationship with him, then he's the best person to approach. Not your pastor, but God himself. Because your pastor, like you, is just trying to find a way through life. They have their own weaknesses. They have their own moments. They are God's voice here, but also it is very important for you to have a relationship with God. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way salvation comes. And salvation is contentment, being happy in all situations. That God is everything to you. He's your shield and he's your defender. So I'm being in that position, and up to now, I just feel grateful. That's why I said, I don't think this is the end, but God himself will show, of course, in due time. But there's so many things that we are going to live to see, and I'm just happy that the Lord will allow us to see just good things, and I'm so excited for the future, you know. And this is the moment where we need to be in that relationship with Him. We need to allow Him to come into our hearts and take away the things that He doesn't like about us, you know. Because most of us out here are going and searching for love in other people, taking what you expect in life and putting it as a burden on someone. So sometimes it's not that people out here are difficult to love, but it's just that we have put expectations on them of what we want, and we are forcing ourselves to see that in this person this is what they are, but in truth is that it is not. So this is the moment where the Lord is going to shift our focus on the things we consider important, you know. We've been praying for wealth and riches, but some of us don't even have the character to handle it, you know. We have been given these gifts and talents, but is our character in line? Is our character something God can trust? Because yes, you can have all things, but if you don't have the character, then it does not suit you at all. Beauty and wealth without character is just an accessory, an adornment, without a purpose, just to look good. But this life, we leave it for others, you know. And the only gratification that we can get is if we live a good life and just trust God through it all. I can just feel good things are coming, and I'm putting my hope and trust in God, and just knowing that in due time He will make things happen. So let us keep trusting, let us keep believing. The Lord is going to do good things, and some of us need to be in position to receive. So use this moment to change everything about you that you don't like, that the Lord does not like. Because if we pray for advancement, we need to be able to be in a position to receive it. You cannot pray for water if you've not dug a dam or even bought barrels for you to store water, you know. So this is the moment where if we are praying for rain, we need to be equipped to store this rainwater. I mean, when Joseph was told by the Lord that there will be 7 years of good things, you know, good harvest, and in those 7 years he was told, don't misuse them, you know, find a granary, put them all together, because after those 7 years of plentiful, there will be 7 years of hunger. And in those 7 years, whatever he had stored from so I remember when in the Bible the Lord told Joseph that you will have 7 years of plentiful harvest and 7 years of, you know, drought. So he told them, in these 7 years, whatever you'll gain, I need you to put some in the granary to serve you in the 7 years when there'll be, you know, famine in Egypt. And Joseph was faithful to, you know, be able to put everything away. And it says that in those 7 years of famine, he was able to feed the surrounding neighbors and sustain Egypt as well. And that's when even his family in hunger came to him, and there was a reunion. So in that same way, we need to be in a position of faithfulness, you know, be in a position to prepare, because that's what this moment we have been given is, to prepare. It's a moment of self-discovery for myself as well, you know. And I like that the Lord made it clear that there are some things I need to leave behind, which I swear scares me. But I promised to walk in faithfulness of Him, you know. And it's been such a revealing moment, because I love hearing from the Lord, because God is someone I love, you know, someone I have vowed to devote my life to, and He's taking care of me in so many ways. I cannot even explain myself. And He's seeing me through places that I didn't ever think I would ever get to. And he's changing my life, and I don't even know what to say anymore, because he's just surprising me. And people assume, oh my God, this girl is perfect. Please, I swear, the messes that I'm in, or I've been in before, and somehow he's been merciful to deliver, and he's just taken care of me throughout, which I'm entirely grateful for. I wouldn't have gotten this far without him. So let us keep trusting and waiting, and he's going to see us through.